Conservatives have officially picked a new leader.
They have.
And
in the biggest turnout ever.
Yeah. In any type of Canadian
any party.
Politics. Any party, and all Canadian politics.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know that if you followed left-leaning.
Not at all.
Media.
And it's like, he killed
everybody. Like 68% of the vote.
68% of the popular vote. The entire vote was over 400,000 ballots. And he won 68% of them. The second closest voter turnout in a party election was Justin Trudeau in 2015 with less than 200,000 total votes. And he did not get 68% of the favorite.
Mm-hmm. It's a wild time. We were talking about this when it happened. And we were just kind of, what could happen from this? What's going to happen? Is anything going to change? And I was like, Trudeau is going to get scared.
Yeah.
And he's going to send his dogs. And
the media.
Get the media going after him, and then Trudeau is going to attack him, and he's going to quickly move to wild rhetoric.
Yeah.
But I figured it'd take some time. I was thinking the next 3 years are just going to be very interesting in Canadian politics.
Yeah.
It's going to get very spicy. Didn't take a day.
It was the same day.
The same day. Trudeau comes out with a statement. If you click on this Twitter link here, his exact words that are on his Twitter page that he tweeted out says, "We've made every effort to work with all parliamentarians over the years and will continue to do so, but we'll also call it questionable, reckless economic ideas because Canadians deserve responsible leadership. Telling people they can opt out of inflation by investing in cryptocurrencies is not responsible leadership. They do not care about your money. They do not care about you. They'll demonize crypto, even though his brother went to Bitcoin conference down in Miami in 2019 and is a huge Dogecoin fan and is collecting Bitcoin, but we won't go there. And fighting against the life-saving vaccines is not responsible leadership. Opposing the pandemic supports that save jobs and help families is not responsible leadership."
Dog, ask a Canadian family who feels saved.
Yeah.
I bet the amount that feel like they're drowning is higher.
Mm-hmm. Probably. So I just thought it was interesting. He came out with the whole reckless economic ideas. I'm not a huge party supporter personally, but that was probably by far. I didn't expect him to say that. That was probably the stupidest thing I've heard come out of his mouth, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
To say he has reckless economic ideas, like just trying to curb inflation.
Yeah, well, that's reckless.
That's reckless.
And the solid sound advice from the Liberals is to stop talking about inflation, and it will simply disappear.
Mm-hmm. Just don't.
That is Liberal advice. Pretend your problems don't exist, and they don't, and just live happily ever after. Yeah. Where you rent everything, where everything's provided to you, where solutions are handed to you, and you're at the beck and call and reliance of the government. That's it.
Yep. Yeah. And so I'm curious what will happen. I don't really fully understand. Like, I've been following Pierre for a while. I'm curious where he's going to take things. Again, I don't fully trust him, as I don't really anybody. His approach is interesting. Yeah. He has a very hopeful message. So did Trudeau's in 2015.
Oh, absolutely, still a politician.
Yep, don't forget it.
Yeah.
And but we'll see where this all goes. As I told you, I'm going to sit back and watch because things are going to get very interesting. Because Trudeau knows he's losing. You have Liberals who have been leaking information to the media about the party because they know Trudeau is going to lose them their seat. They haven't said anything for the past 7 years.
And now they're just exposing.
But now they're just exposing issues in the party and what things are going on because now they're at risk of losing their seat. This is why I don't trust any of our MLAs.
Yeah, because they're
I don't trust no Darren Fisher.
They're up for themselves.
No, 100%.
Dog, your personal vendetta against Darren Fisher.
Screw Darren Fisher, man.
I hope he listens.
I hope so, too.
Let's have him on, honestly.
Yeah, let's get real. Anybody who's a sitting member of parliament in Trudeau's cabinet, or Trudeau's, I guess technically his cabinet.
Yeah, sure.
Won't sit down with anybody. Let's get real.
Oh, well, certainly so. I mean,
they're terrified. They're absolutely terrified. Andy Fillmore, terrified.
Andy Fillmore, he's funny.
Golly. All these boys, terrified. They don't want to talk to nobody. And, so that was one thing I did find interesting about Pierre, which caught my attention, was about a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. He sat down for an hour-and-a-half podcast.
Oh, dude, I know.
With Jordan Peterson, just grilling him.
And just took it.
I was like,
But it took it and responded.
Yeah.
It didn't take it and get defensive.
Exactly. And that's what I caught my attention. I'm like, I've never seen a politician, period, ever do that.
And even if it's an act, no one has acted that good. So,
yeah, it was intriguing to view it. And so what's been interesting to me is to see, I've been watching Twitter and just blow up over him winning his seat or the leadership. And it's been, the rhetoric in the media is wild. If anyone saw the video, you know what? Let's just play the video because it's fun. We'll see everyone's perspective on it.
absolutely.
It would have been, this one. Yep. Just listen to what's going on.
And here we are today with 40-year highs in inflation, where Canadians are spending more just to feed themselves, to heat their homes, and to buy a home in the very first place. The reason that, So I mean, we have basically a liberal heckler who snuck in here today to, right. Are you going to let me make my misstatement?
From the guy who actually reported first on the Prime Minister breaking the law.
Yeah. Are you going to let me make my
just
statement?
ask a question. Say yes.
I've actually never seen you heckling the Prime Minister.
Ask Minister Baird back
heckling
in the
the
day.
Prime Minister. Look, bottom line is this. Yes, I will be taking 2 questions at the very end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to start my statement again, and hopefully this time without interruption from the Liberal heckling gathering here, and we'll speak directly to Canadians so that they can hear what the new Leader of the Opposition has to say. I'll begin again.
So you decide what you heard. These are the two sides I've seen on social media. I've seen liberal media come out and say, wow, Pierre couldn't even get through one press conference without having a meltdown. That's what's being said. But I'm also hearing the second side of it where conservatives are saying, wow, the Globe and Mail guy, David Aiken, had a full-on meltdown during the first Pierre press conference.
How does someone come to the conclusion of the first option?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying is like, this is what I'm reading.
I don't know how people got themselves there because he was talking first.
Yeah.
When you interrupt someone, game over.
Yeah.
You're the child. You're that's childish. He interrupted him.
Right.
And was screaming really because he
back.
has a microphone. He doesn't. So
Yeah.
he was yelling to him for him to be heard. Odd behavior. I'm a grown adult.
Yeah, I'm a grown adult. But it's, you make your decision what you thought happened. One side saying that one thing, the other side saying the other. My point by showing you this is don't go off of through the next 3 years, as we lead up to the next election, just make sure you're doing your own research because everything's going to be painted a specific way of the same event that people are going to have drastically different takes on.
Yeah, don't just pick a side because it's the first thing that showed up on your For You page.
Yeah.
Or the first tweet you saw. Look into the event that transpired on social media.
Exactly.
Have to. Have to.